Peace and blessings. Good afternoon. I just want to continue on what I usually make my content about, which is spiritual warfare and the correlation between narcissism and being a agent of the kingdom of darkness, a NPC, a person plagued with demonic entities, maybe, most likely a legion. I just want to talk about soul ties, just share a little information about soul ties that I, have, from my studies, spiritually. Soul ties, come from, sexual activity with, the opposite gender, whichever you may be, male or female. Sex is a covenant between you, the person, and Yahweh. So it basically is you receiving that person's, blessings into your, aligning your blessings and curses, of the person that you shared, a sexual relationship with. But you can also, run into people who are narcissistic, have sex out of wedlock with them, and receive their blessings and curses as well. And people who are narcissistic, are plagued with legion of demons. So you're basically making a sexual pact, a covenant spiritually with them and the legion of demons that plague their vessel. You're basically making a covenant with the kingdom of darkness. You're basically making a covenant with, demonic spirits. You're linking them to your vessel. You're linking them to your life. You're linking them to your spiritual journey in this physical realm. You have to be wary of narcissistic people because they use sex as a weapon. They weaponize sex. They're very perverted in their ways. They're very perverted. Narcissism is a perverted way of mind. It is a carnal minded, way of life. They're very carnal minded. They're very animalistic in mindset. Sex is, like, tying a shoe. Like riding. It's not something that's, to create children. It's not something that's to exalt God. To show your love of God between a man and his wife. It is something that is, as simple as chewing a piece of gum, throwing it out, into the trash. It is something as simple like that, for them, for people who are of a narcissistic mindset, who are plagued by demonic entities, demonic spirits, fallen angels, demons. You have to be wary. You have to understand that sex is a covenant between you, God, and that person. So abstinence, abstaining from sex is the best way. Me, for instance, I've linked my vessel with, a few narcissistic people, people play with demons, I received their curses. Me and God just flipped them, just recently, me and God flipped them, through abstinence, do submitting myself to God. But is it a time limit? It is a time limit from when you can restore your soul to this natural, balance, the balance, like that you had before you linked yourself, intimately, with that demonically plagued person. It takes time. It takes abstinence. It takes time. But to counteract that, just practice abstinence. Do not link yourself with people who are narcissistic, people who are plagued with demons. Follow God's rules, is biblical order, which is, to get married, to abstain from sex before marriage. It is simple. Because when you link yourself with someone, out of wedlock, first and foremost, you're having sex out of wedlock. Second of all, you're linking your vessel with the same demonic entities, that plague that person, whoever you may lay with, whether it may be man or female. You're linking your soul with their soul, plus the demonic entities that plague them. It's a match made in hell. That's why God really stresses abstinence in the Bible. It is very key. It is very vital. It is showing. It is not only showing your love for God, your respect for His wishes and His views and His order, His biblical order. It is not only that, but it is to protect you. It is to protect you from being linked with demonic spirits. Unknowingly. Me myself. I've gone through many demonic things, tactics, spiritual warfare, just, due to being linked to, demonic people, Soul ties can also be not of the intimate. They can be family. They can be friends. They can be, soul ties are very important on your spiritual journey, on this walk, this narrow path, to heaven. This walk of narrow path to heaven is very vital. It is very key to make sure that the ties that you have are of God or God given. God cannot choose your spouse for you. But just to extend what I was talking about, with the intimate. God cannot choose your spouse for you, but he lays the groundwork for you to understand who is of him, who is of the kingdom of light, and who is of the kingdom of darkness. You have to choose what you do with your vessel, sexually. You have to choose to marry someone who's not of the kingdom of darkness. You have to choose to, abstain before marriage. You have to choose. It's your choice. We have free will. But God is trying to protect us. Everything in the Bible is, it seems like it's rules, but that's being lukewarm. You cannot be lukewarm with the protection that Yahweh has given us. Yahweh has literally given us protections. The things of the Bible that tell you to abstain is for a reason, because you see these people out here who are narcissistic, who are just linking their vessel with, 50 million people every year. They're plagued with demons. That's what happens when you link yourself with so many people. You split your soul in so many pieces that it is irreparable. You cannot fix it. After a while, you become complacent with that lifestyle. You lose your connection with God. Living that type of narcissistic lifestyle is the quickest way to lose your connection with God, to be an agent of the kingdom of darkness. It is a ticket to hell. It is the gateway to hell. In the Bible, it stresses many times that the woman's house is the gateway to hell. And I don't think it means specifically that, every woman is a gateway to hell. It just means lying with the woman out of wedlock, committing adultery, being promiscuous, lying with a contentious woman, is the pathway to hell. In repetition. We're all imperfect. We're all, born from sin. We're all fleshly beings, in this physical realm. But you cannot make a habit out of doing that. Sometimes you may fall short, intimately. We all have desires. We all have, sexual preferences. We all have, sexual needs. But abstinence is protection. It is truly protection. It is spiritual protection. It is God giving you a spiritual barrier between you and demons. Do not add any demonic connections more than, what need to be. We already live in a fallen world, a sunken world. These are the end times. You already live in this type of world. Do not add demons, do not give demons a open doorway, to your vessel, to your soul, to your life. Do not abstaining, do not, mirroring somebody who's of the kingdom of light, who's of God, who's from God, who's a lover of God, like yourself, like mine, like me, excuse me. I've been abstinent for maybe about, 10 months, and I haven't really, I feel better. You feel more connected to Yahweh when you're abstinent. You feel you feel the connection with Yahweh when you are abstinent. That is just the truth. It is a protection. Being abstinent, following God's biblical order, between man and woman, it is a protection. It's not just rules to just, give you rules, so you can just live a boring life. It is protection. You have to look at it like this. Because this is the business of souls, and the devil is busy, and he seeks to steal, devour, and conquer through any means necessary. He'll link you with Jezebel spirit or succubus spirit, a woman or man, whatever it may be. And it may seem cool and dandy, fine in the moment, but, after a while, you will understand that demons are real. This world is in a fallen state. We're in the end times, and they will plague you. They will plague your life like they have mine. But I'm chosen. I'm the light of this world. So, me and Yahweh just flipped it. And sometimes Yahweh definitely links you. Not links you. But sometimes if you make a decision to link yourself with a person that is of the kingdom of darkness, Yahweh will allow it, but he will remove them from your life. If Yahweh doesn't want people in your life, he will remove them. He always removes them. Because if you are chosen like myself, or if you are a true lover of God like myself, God will remove them. It is an inevitability of being connected to God truly. God will always remove them. It may take time. maybe even years. Me, myself, I was in, a few intimate relationships for like a, 2 year span, you know, 3 maybe. Y'all would just remove them all, because obviously they cannot continue in your path, this narrow path. They cannot continue with you in the spiritual journey, in this physical realm, because they are, of the kingdom of darkness. And you are of the light. The light and the dark cannot mix. Jesus sat with sinners. He ate with sinners, but he did not sin with sinners. You cannot sin with sinners. If you were chosen, like myself, the light of this world, or if you are a true lover of God, you cannot be linked with anyone that is of the kingdom of darkness, whether it may be your parents, whether it may be your friends, whether it may be your teacher, whether it may be of an intimate relationship. God will remove them. It is just up to you to fully remove them from your life. God will show you who they are. He will make them show you their horns and their demonic ways and the spirits that they're under, whether it be Jezebel, succubus, things of that sort. He'll show you who they are. It's called the gift of discernment. I have to get the discernment. I can see the spirit that people are under, whether it's Jezebel, or Python, Leviathan. There's many various spirits that people can be under. And a lot of people who are narcissistic are plagued with many demonic spirits. And God will just show you who people are. But it is up to you to make the choice to remove them from your life in totality. You cannot be lukewarm in your spiritual walk. You cannot cast your pearls with the swine. Because they cannot go where we go. True lovers of God, chosen ones. They cannot go where we go. Some people have to stay behind. It is just an inevitability of this narrow path to heaven. Because they walk the broad path to hell. It is just an inevitability. You have to leave them behind. Many various people in my life, I know for sure 100% are plagued with many various legions of demons. And I cut them all behind, with no problem. Once I realized who I was, once I realized my purpose, once I realized, they were plagued with demons, it was a no-brainer. It was a non-decision. I'm pretty sure they have been upset since, the day I decided that. And, this was a few years ago. But you just have to understand that people won't get it. Because they're addicted to the light that we carry, the high vibrational frequency that we carry, because there's no one else on this earth, that is of the kingdom of darkness, that carries it. You are a physical manifestation of the Holy Spirit. You have the Holy Spirit in your soul, in your vessel. You are the closest thing to a connection with God that they will get to. If they are truly demon-possessed, if they're fully demon-possessed. And if they are on demonic strongholds, they'll obviously be able to understand it too. Because it's the vibrations that you give off into this matrix, into this demonic, world that is under a demonic spell of witchcraft. It's the vibrations that you give off just by speaking, just by existing, just by, going places, just by living, just by existing. You are of the light. You are connected to God truly. Whether you may be chosen or just a lover of God. But you have to cut the soul ties that are demonic out of your life in totality. You have to make that choice for yourself, though. God will show you who people are, the spirits that they're under. But you have to make the choice with what you do with that information. It is not God's choice. He gives us free will. Me, myself, I chose to cut them all off. And like a domino effect. Every single one. I literally have no one in my life, literally, too close to me that is, demonically plagued. It served no purpose to me in where I'm going further in life. I live a totally, opposite lifestyle of what they live. I'm abstinent. I seek to be married. I read the Bible every day, at least, 2 pages. I'm chosen. I love God. I don't carry my vessel demonically. I don't have demons. I'm not under demonic strongholds. I'm not plagued with legions of demons. We cannot really be linked with each other. It is just an inevitability of growing up and being spiritually aware. But you have to make that decision for yourself when the time comes, when Yahweh shows you who people truly are, if they are in your life that are demonically plagued. Maybe you don't understand. Maybe you're not, totally spiritually aware as of yet. And listening to this video may help you, and it may not. But it should. Anyone who's an energy vampire, who's a narcissistic personality disorder is plagued with demons. You need to remove them soul ties from your life. That is the kingdom of darkness. That is demons plaguing their vessel. That is the quickest way to attach demons to your life, by linking yourself physically, sexually with those type of people. And it is not of a diss to them. It's not of a demeaning statement that I'm making. It's just an inevitability of actually truly loving God and choosing to live a actual God-loving lifestyle, actually choosing to submit myself to God, choosing to exalt, Yahweh fully and 100%, not being lukewarm. Because if you are chosen truly, or if you are a true lover of God like myself, and maybe you were listening, we are of this world, but we play no part in this world. We are like a fly on the wall to this demonic world. We have to separate ourselves from demonic people. It is an inevitability. It may not seem fun at the time, but you'll understand once you get farther in life why you had to make that decision, and the importance of it. It is very important. It is vital. You have to submit yourself to God, just not by how you carry yourself, personally, but how you carry your surroundings, who you choose to surround yourself with, who you choose to link your vessel with as well. Light and dark cannot mix. Jesus sat with sinners, like I alluded to earlier. He sat with sinners, he dined with sinners, he talked to sinners, and we will do the same, but we cannot sin with sinners. There's a difference. You cannot choose to sin with sinners, and think that you are actual true lover of God. That is being lukewarm. And no, we are not perfect. We're not made perfect. We'll never be perfect. There's only one perfect man, and that was Jesus Christ, Yeshua himself. But to truly submit yourself to God, you have to walk the narrow path. You have to bear your cross. You have to cut demonic soul ties. Whether it may be intimate, whether it may be social, whether it may be your parents, whether it may be your family. You have to cut every single demonic soul tie. You have to make that choice for yourself, though. I can stress it as much as I want. I can explain it as much as I can. But you yourself, the listener, a lover of God or a chosen one, whatever you may be, you have to make that decision for yourself. I cannot do it for you. God cannot do it for you. You have free will, just like I did. I can only give you the analytical viewpoints that I have. I just understand that the lifestyle that I choose to live now, currently, do not mix with the lifestyle that I was living when I was more of a sinful mindset. So there is no reason to have demonically plagued people in my life. That is a hindrance to me spiritually and emotionally, and it just doesn't mix. It doesn't align with the lifestyle that I live, that I'm going to live, that Yahweh has set for me in place, has set in place for me, and you as well. But you have to make that choice for yourself. God gives us the breadcrumbs to live a better lifestyle, to exalt him, to bear our cross. But you have to make that decision for yourself. Me, myself, I am not perfect. I will never be perfect. I do a lot of things maybe that don't make sense to people of the society, but it is because they are not true lovers of God. They are of the Antichrist spirit. They will not understand. They are either of the Antichrist spirit or they're lukewarm. So a lot of things that you do as a true lover of God will not make sense to the majority, because the majority are beta in mindset, and they are very foolish. They're very carnal-minded. They're very animalistic in mindset. They're very similar to primates in how they carry their vessels. You have to realize this to get the discernment. You have to understand it. A lot of people living nowadays are similar to primates, are similar to, monkeys. And it's not to demean them. It is just the truth. If you really, really do your analytics, if you really, really study how people psychologically and socially carry themselves, it is really very similar to primates. It is a sad inevitability of the fallen state this world is in. But you as a lover of God, me as a lover of God, we have to counteract that. We have to carry ourselves and bear our cross in exaltation to God as much as we can. That is the only requirement from God. Have faith as big as a mustard seed. So as long as you are doing that, as long as you are cutting soul ties demonically, demonic soul ties from your life, you'll be fine. God will bless you. Your life will be blessed. These demonic people who seek to, incorporate themselves in your life, to siphon your energy, to siphon your godly, energy. You are the only thing connected to God. If you are chosen, if you are truly chosen, you are the only thing reminiscent of a connection with God that they will ever experience until they go to hell. Your energy is key. Your energy is gold. Your energy is currency to them. You have to protect it. You have to make sure that you are blessed. You have to make sure that you are living in your purpose. You have to make sure that you are exalting God in every way possible. And if that means cutting people from your life, that's what it means. That's what it's going to take. That is bearing your cross. And peace and blessings.